What's up, vape fam? Sorteal here. Please excuse the way that I sound. I'm still trying to fight off a sinus infection, and I think it was a viral sinus infection. It sounds like kind of a cold that turned into a sinus infection, so voice is still pretty messed up from it overall, so just excuse the way that I sound. Tonight I wanted to kind of take a look at some of the new SSA flavors. Now, some of these have been out for a little while, since I think February or March for some of these, but a lot of these I have not tried, and I don't have anywhere near all of them. I just recently got what do I got here, 7 of the new SSA flavors that I wanted to give a try. A couple of these I've tried before, but for the most part these are all new to me. I have actually, I hadn't tried these till I got them. That's what I mean by new to me. I've tried all of these at various percentages, but I'm going to give them a go again tonight as a single flavor test. And I have not tried any of these in a mix just yet. So what I have for us tonight is the SSA Rhubarb, the Peach Sweet type flavor, the Raspberry Blue type, the Lemon Wafer Cream, Lemon Pound Cake, Double Watermelon, and the Honeycomb Crumble, which the Lemon Pound Cake and the Honeycomb Crumble are probably the ones that I've heard the most about and seen pop up in a lot of recipes over the last couple of months. I know Sam did a Lemon Pound Cake where SSA's Lemon Pound Cake was practically all there was to it. I think he even said in the description, it was damn near a one shot, and I'd have to agree with that. Honestly, from what I've tried of it, it is practically good enough to just mix up by itself, but it does need a little help in the cake department, I've noticed. So not sure what I'm going to do for a recipe tonight. I didn't really think up one in particular. I do like the idea of just doing a straight up lemon pound cake with a type of frosting on top, or even almost like a creme anglaise. That's more what I was thinking, kind of mixed with a little bit of maybe a cream cheese icing taste, just a hair. Mix all that kind of together to get a really good just straight lemon pound cake. So might do something like that. The double watermelon I'm really interested in as well. From what I can tell, I think it might actually work really well in a lemonade, either just a straight watermelon lemonade or maybe a raspberry watermelon lemonade, something along those lines. The raspberry blue type is a little iffy for me, but I'm going to go ahead and vape each one of these. I've already got all of them kind of mixed up. I'll tell you the percentages, but most of these are either 1, 1.5, or 2%. But for the most part, they hover around 1 to 1.5. I've got the Elder Dragon here that we're going to test these on. So I'll basically test each one, tell you what I think about them, and then try and clear my cotton out enough to test the next one. So first one that we're going to do is the Rhubarb. And this was one, I really like rhubarb flavors actually. And I cannot remember the name of the company, but they have one called Rhubarb Cuddle that is really good. It's more of like a one shot, but I tend to use it. It has more just a straight flavoring, and it's basically a rhubarb and cream, and it's really, really good. Let's see how SSA's rhubarb does. Drip a little bit of this in here. All right, here we go. This is at 1.5%. It's actually really good. I don't think any rhubarb just straight by itself is all that great. It really needs other things with it. But as far as just a single flavor test of a rhubarb, it's actually pretty damn good. I'm a little shocked. So yeah, I like it overall. I think it would mix really well with some type of cream. Maybe something like either just Flavora cream, I think would actually play really well with it. Or even something like TFA's vanilla custard too. There is a bit of a green note there, but being rhubarb, you know, it really should have something along those lines. All right, so what else am I vaping tonight? Well, got the Dead Rabbit sitting on top of the Prey mechanical mod from QP Designs. Really digging this. And I've been vaping on my usual Vanilla Overdose Custard V3. Give this a go. Yeah, it's actually really good in the Dead Rabbit 3. I highly enjoy this RDA. A lot more than I assumed I would. All right. Try and get some of this out of here. And then we will move on to the Peach Sweet type, which this is one I really dig. All right. And this is one I think would go extremely well mixed with another fruit. Maybe with some creams or even in a bakery. All right. This is mixed up at 1.5%. Let's give this a go. It's really good. It's got almost a candy. It reminds me of peach rings, honestly, but without the whole sugary aspect to it. So if you were going to do it with something else, you really need to give it some help. But I think it would play well with other fruits, and I think you could tone down almost that peach ring style flavor to it. With other fruits, because it's odd that you get a little bit of almost peach rings in the upfront. So on the inhale, it's like, oh wait, this is peach rings. Then on the exhale, you start to get kind of more a little taste of the tart skin and things like that, and it starts to taste a little more authentic. So it's kind of a weird peach flavor overall, but with a little bit of help from other things, especially, you know, I like the fact that you could probably lean it either way, honestly, just with a little help from various things. If you were going to do like a strawberry peach type of candy, you could probably use something like strawberry gummy candy, and that would definitely lean it more towards the peach rings. Or you could probably use maybe like strawberry ripe from Capella or something along those lines and push it more towards kind of authentic peach. Just something to cover up that initial inhale that is very much peach rings, but enhance the exhale, which is a far more, not necessarily authentic, but not a candied peach. Yeah, I like it. It's just, it just has a weird dynamic to single flavor test. Like I said, inhale's almost peach rings, exhale is a little bit more, you know, artificial peach, but trying to go authentic, even though it's not quite getting there. If that makes any kind of sense. But it's still really good. All right, try and get some of this out of here. I also have the Asgard Mini on the Valhalla, on the Vindicator here to test some of these, because eventually I'm either going to have to rewick this or I'm just not going to be able to get some of these out of the wicks. Next up is that raspberry blue type. And this one I was actually really kind of pumped for because I like blue raspberry. I couldn't tell you exactly what in the heck blue raspberry is, but I do like that flavor, especially for things like slushies and lemonades and candies, things like that, those type of liquids. But there's not a whole lot of really good blue raspberries out there. I almost always end up going to Wonder Flavor's sour blue raspberry candy as my blue raspberry of choice, or Flavora blue raspberry, because I don't really like any other blue raspberry out there. And from what I've tested so far, I don't know if this is gonna become a third option necessarily, but I need to test it in a mix at various percentages. Yeah, actually this peach, I don't know, the more I vape the peach as a single flavor, the more I kind of like it. All right, see if I can get some of this out of here. And we'll give the raspberry blue type a go. Now this is at 1%. When I initially mixed this up, I mixed it up at 2%, and that was a bad idea because it comes across very heavy on the medicine flavor side. It's the only blue raspberry I've really tried that just, it has such a fine line between, you know, somewhat usable to all of a sudden it's medicine. And basically somewhere in between 1.5% and 2%. That line is there that crosses into medicine type of flavor. But at about 1%, it's actually decent. I might use it to enhance another blue raspberry, but I don't think it would ever be my pick for a, you know, star blue raspberry in a mix. But it's not bad as long as you don't pump it up too high. Sorry, excuse me. Still battling that little bit of a sinus infection going on. All right, get some of this out. Next up is the lemon wafer cream type, which at first I wasn't entirely sure what this was supposed to be. Like the picture they show, it looks like a lemon ice cream maybe, or a lemon frozen custard in a waffle cone. So just kind of went with that, expecting that. And that's sort of what it is, but not entirely. It really reminds me of just a straight kind of lemon cream. Let me vape on this again and see if that's still what it's making me think. All right. And this is at 1.5% as well. Yeah, I'd still get just more of a straight kind of lemon cream. I actually think this would go really well if you wanted to do a lemon custard. One thing, if you've ever tried to do an actual lemon custard, I've actually been trying to nail lemon overdose custard where I just jack the lemon up to the absolute peak that I can get it. But it's really difficult because lemon will so easily take over, and that harsh bite to lemon will take over all the custard in the recipe. So you end up with something that really just tastes more like you dropped a few drops of cream into some lemonade or something along those lines, or you put a little bit of cream on a raw slice of lemon and took a bite into it. It doesn't really come across as lemon custard fully, but something like this lemon wafer cream type, and maybe even mixed with Wonder Flavors lemon custard, and then use some other custards to kind of help it out, I think would do actually really well. No, I don't think this doesn't really remind me of the Chem Novatic lemon wafer or lemon cream wafer. It just it reminds me very much of a lemon cream, honestly. There's a little bit of that wafer flavor in there. Maybe if you pumped it a little bit more, but from, you know, where I've tested it at 1, 1.5, and 2, I don't get a whole lot of the wafer portion of it. I get a lot of lemon cream. But like I said, I think it would go great if you wanted to do a lemon custard, and that's probably where I'll use it, is give it a go working on my lemon overdose custard. But it's not bad. It's definitely not bad. I just don't know exactly what it was supposed to be. Not really, at least. All right, next up is kind of the one that I have so far been using the most, and I probably enjoy the most, and that is the lemon pound cake. And like I said, Sam from Noted DX, he did a couple of recipes using lemon pound cake, and a few other people did as well. But, you know, Sam said in his description, he thought that lemon pound cake was almost good enough to just be a one shot, and I have to kind of agree. Like I said earlier, it does need a little bit of help in the cake department. That kind of stops it really from being any type of one shot type of flavor, or, you know, you could just vape it straight as single flavor. But something like Jungle Flavors yellow cake, or One-on-One's cake yellow, or even Flavor West cake yellow would help it out probably as much as you would need. Then after that, all you need some type of icing, maybe some powdered sugar, and you'd be good to go. All right, let's give this one a go. This is at 2%. Yeah, that is really good. Just at 2%, I guarantee you I will finish this tester. The single flavor lemon pound cake at 2%, I will finish this tester. It's that good. So I'm really impressed with the lemon pound cake for sure, and I will definitely be using it. I would wonder how it would work in a custard. If, you know, you kind of see some custards that have custard recipes that use cake in them to kind of get a texture type of deal from it. I would be curious to see how lemon pound cake would work in a lemon custard, to see if it would give it kind of that same effect, that same kind of texture that using something like white cake does in a vanilla custard. The lemon in it is actually, you know, it's pretty soft. It's just like you would think of the lemon in a lemon pound cake. It's not bitey. It's not harsh. It's not Pine Solly or Pledge type of taste. It's just a nice soft lemon, and the overall cake flavor definitely comes through, but the lemon is just over top of it almost slightly too much. That's kind of why it needs a little bit of help in the cake department, but just not much. Yeah, I really like that. Actually, I'm going to switch over to the Asgard to try these last two, because I'm just going to vape on this with the lemon pound cake. All right. So next one up on the chopping block is the double watermelon from SSA. Now, I really like their, was it sweet watermelon or watermelon sweet? I thought that was a pretty good watermelon, especially if you wanted to do either just a mixed fruit kind of deal, or even if you wanted to go for having some watermelon in a lemonade. It worked pretty well. It really needed another watermelon to fully help it out, but there's very few just single flavor watermelons that work just outstanding. It's kind of the whole thing of so many people trying to get watermelon down and nobody having a watermelon flavor that tastes authentic. So people tend to go towards watermelon because it tastes more authentic than anything else out there. All right, this is at 1.5%, I do believe. Let's give this a go. This is a 0.11 alien build in here. That's really good. Oh man, and it reminds me of something, and I cannot remember what in the hell it is. Like if you've ever had Ramune, that Japanese soda, they make strawberry melon. There's a watermelon version of it as well, and it very much reminds me of this right here. I think this is probably perfect for a watermelon lemonade. It's that type of watermelon. It's not really candied, but it definitely comes across as artificial. You might be able to pull it more towards the authentic a little bit easier than most, just by doing, maybe adding an apple to it, like Fuji or double apple. Something along those lines might pull it a little more towards the authentic, but actually by itself, it's really good. Yeah, Steve-O, I agree. Watermelons always have been kind of that you have to pair them up, or you've got to mix them with other things, other flavors to really get whatever it is you're going for. There's no one watermelon solution for all. This is really good. Have you tried this double watermelon yet, Steve-O? 'Cause I'm digging it. I think you could pull off like a watermelon bubble gum as well if you really wanted to. Definitely artificial, but still pretty good. It's not like watermelon Jolly Rancher, like say Loran's watermelon clear is, but I don't know. It really, if you've ever had the watermelon Ramune, is the best description of this. That is exactly what this tastes like, as a watermelon Ramune without the carbonation. I do not have the watermelon taffy type yet. I'm pretty interested in that one as well. I did not think like SSA and watermelon, that never really crossed my mind. I knew I liked the sweet watermelon, but now that they have this, and if the watermelon taffy is any good, they'll actually have some pretty damn good watermelons. I would say they're definitely all artificial, especially the taffy, of course, but the other two fall within that artificial line, but still really good. All right, try and get some of this out here. Please excuse me again. All right, the next one up, and this was the one I heard a ton about. There was a bunch of people that were like, oh man, you got to try this. You've been, kind of digging on bakery stuff here recently. You have to try this. And it is the Honeycomb Crumble. Pretty interested in this. The smell off of it made me even more interested when I got it in before I ever even tried it. Because it almost reminds me of a waffle cone or a sugar cone. More definitely a waffle cone. Than it does like Honeycomb Crumble, but I can also see how this could be used for, you could use this with cheesecake as the crust part. If you don't want to try you wanted to build your own crust without having to use, TFA or Perillum's cheesecake graham crust, you could probably easily do it with this. So I think this will actually have probably quite a few uses in bakeries. Let me try and get some of this out. You get toffee from it. If you got it low, it's definitely toffee. If you have it low, it comes across as toffee. If you have it up above 1.5, it's more honeycomb to me. It's a waffle cone up above that. But I think if you used it at about 1.5, 1.75, somewhere around in there, you could definitely use it with a cheesecake to probably get a good crust from it. But yeah, lower percentages, it kind of comes across. I don't get full on toffee, but that kind of toffee aftertaste is definitely there. It would probably mix extremely well with other toffee flavors. Something like Vape Train's English toffee would probably mix extremely well with it, as long as you used it at lower percentages. This watermelon is sticking to this. Gotta hydrate. All right. Let's go ahead and try this Honeycomb Crumble type. This is mixed up at 1.5%. So this should kind of ride that line. Let me see if on dual coils with this resistance, see if I get toffee out of this. A little bit there on kind of the aftertaste. It's still got a tinge of that watermelon stuck to it. Your Kiss recipe, I'll check that out, because the cheesecake is definitely what I thought of with this. I'm glad I wasn't the only one. Did it come out good? The crust aspect of it come out good? Yeah, I get a little bit of toffee on the aftertaste, but for the most part, it still kind of tastes like a waffle cone almost to me. Would have to be a thick waffle cone, but still, excuse me, still waffle cone overall. All right, so out of these that I've tried, like I said, I have not tried all of them. I think there's what, 37, 40 some odd new flavors that they put out since I think about February or January or February. So I haven't tried anywhere close to all of the new ones. It's only at 1%. Oh, okay. I'll definitely have to check that out and mix that one up, because that, I thought cheesecake with that almost immediately. Here's our lemon pound cake again. Out of these, the lemon pound cake is hands down my favorite flavor out of just these ones we've talked about tonight. I do like the rhubarb as well. I would like to try the rhubarb with, especially with some creams and custards, and see how it does. May have to try a rhubarb overdose custard. Actually, no, that sounds terrible. But a rhubarb and cream or rhubarb custard sounds pretty good. All right. I didn't really think up any type of theory crafted recipe or anything like that for tonight. I knew overall this stream was going to be pretty short. I really just wanted to go over some of these new SSA flavors and then maybe whip something up that had something to do with one or two of them. And I think actually what I'd like to try, and this I kind of thought up about 3 minutes before I went live, is to actually do a lemon pound cake and see if we can just get a solid, straightforward, simple lemon pound cake with some type of not icing per se, but almost that kind of really thin frosting type of icing that you see on a lot of pound cakes, or almost, you know, that pourable type of coating that they use. So for that, it makes me think something like creme anglaise. And in my opinion, the best creme anglaise out there is Salubarome's, which is weird. I don't hardly see it used in any recipes. I know that on Noted they kind of ranted and raved about how good it was, but I don't really see too many people use it overall. It is a little rough to find. Well, not really anymore. Once DIY Vapor Supply started carrying it, it was pretty easy to find. But before that, it was a little bit of a hunt to find it. Let me grab a bottle. See if we can't come up with a lemon pound cake. That A will kind of prove lemon pound cake doesn't need much help from SSA. Go ahead here. Limited rakes. Okay. I'm definitely not going to use creme anglaise that high. I think probably trying it at about 1% for this. And then I would like to actually kind of mix it with Loran's cream cheese icing. And yeah, probably about that. I may need to take creme anglaise down some, honestly, but really it's so light to begin with, that may actually work pretty well. Lemon pound cake. Right there. I'm gonna actually probably go higher than this. I'm gonna go 3. I'm not sure you could push lemon pound cake much above that. It'd be interesting to actually kind of test it at higher percentages, but 3 is or actually 3.5 is the highest I've tested it, but 3 seemed like it was about perfect for it being the star in a mix. Definitely want to help out the yellow cake some. I like Jungle Flavors yellow cake, but I don't want to use it that high. So I'm going to say about maybe 1.25, but that's probably even maybe a bit too much. Actually, let's try 1. Would not mind some powdered sugar for this. Definitely not. I'm actually going to go kind of low with it. And then really probably the only other thing we need is a sweetener. Go with Flavor West sweetener about there. I have no idea if this will work or not. All right. But I think it actually might. All right. Actually, let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. Why not? I think 10 mils is probably about what I normally do, because if I try and go lower, about like 5 mils, something like that, I know a lot of people do that. But to me, if I only mix it up at 5 milliliters, then whenever I do the exact same recipe and mix it up at say 120, it's different. It's just slightly different. And I feel like 10 milliliter mixes, as far as testing, tends to actually give me more of what a large batch of that recipe is going to taste like. Even, you know, even if you kind of slightly over, slightly under various things. All right, Lorenz cream cheese icing. I actually have not used Lorenz cream cheese icing in a while. So let's give this a go. Let me swap back over to here. All right, so this is going to be 0.13. Come on, camera. It freaks out too much on it. Maybe there. All right, so the Rhubarb cream anglaise at 0.1. If you have not tried this stuff, I highly recommend it. If you've ever had creme anglaise, then you'll already know kind of what to expect. But if you haven't, then Steve-O, yeah, it's not as accurate to do it at 5. So I normally always do at least 10, sometimes even 15. But if you haven't had creme anglaise from Rhubarb, I highly recommend it. Like I said, if you've already had creme anglaise at some point, you pretty much know what to expect. It's more like a thin pourable custard. It still has that kind of eggy note to it, but it's a little bit lighter than most custards. And it just kind of comes across as slightly thin, but also more like an icing almost, or something similar, than a full-on thick, dense custard. Even as soon as I open this lemon pound cake, I can smell it from like, you know, a good 8-9 inches away. 0.3. I may have messed up with 0.3. This may be too much. But I've seen quite a few recipes of people just doing straight lemon pound cakes with this. And that's about what they use it at. And I have tested it at 3 and 3 point, or yeah, 3 and 3.5. And it did all right at both. 3.5 was a little much, a little intense, but still not bad by any stretch. Powdered sugar, I gotta grab. Give me just a second. All right, powdered sugar, 0.08. This would be 1.08 at 5 milliliters. It would be extremely rough to get it accurate, unless I was using syringes. Same thing with sweeteners. It's like 0.03, 0.05. That's rough. Vaporworks sweetener. I gotta get it too. Oh wait, no. Right. All right. Again, 0.08. Should be good. Jungle Flavors Yellow Cake at 0.1. This is Jungle Flavors Yellow Cake is probably my favorite yellow cake flavoring out there. I actually probably use Vaporworks Yellow Cake more, but just because I find it's a little bit easier to work with in different recipes. But now oh, they're right here in front of me. All right, I'm not going to put any additive in this. PG is 2.3. And VG 8.64, the usual. All right. Walk back over here. Dripper top. Let's see if this actually turned out any good. Where did I put? Here it is. Just use the Elder Dragon here to test this. Yeah, I normally do too. I've gotten actually extremely good with sweetness. You know, almost all of Lavora stuff for some reason just wants to pour out of, doesn't matter what the dripper top is, it just wants to pour out. Somehow I've gotten, I guess because I use sweetness so much, I've gotten pretty damn good at even just getting it to 0.03 or 0.05. All right, give us a go. Oh, damn. That's really good. I thought with so much of, you know, kind of, not really so much, but there's a lot of cream and cake kind of going on in this, that the lemon in lemon pound cake from SSA was going to have to do all the lemon work and it was just going to get drowned out, but it really doesn't. This is actually really good. I could probably pump that. That crema glaze probably should have been about 1.25, similar to cream cheese icing. Overall, yeah, this is a damn good pound cake recipe, lemon pound cake recipe. It's definitely lemon pound cake with a kind of thin icing poured over top. And you can taste the powdered sugar as well, even at 0.75. Just kind of like a light dusting, but still definitely there. So yeah, I like this. I think I'm going to post this. It actually turned out really good. I'm enjoying the absolute hell out of that. So I think I am going to post this one. I'll have to find an image for it and all that. And I may change the name of it from just lemon pound cake to something else. But I'll also put hashtag Vaporworks Lab in the title if you don't follow me on all the flavors. That way you can easily find it. So yeah, I'm pretty, but even with this one, it's so simple that lemon pound cake's doing all the heavy lifting. I probably could have just done lemon pound cake, cream cheese icing, powdered sugar, and sweetener, and it probably would have, maybe not as good, but it still would have been damn good. So yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with this, but I think, you know, lemon pound cake's doing all the heavy lifting for this one. I'll probably try it. I'd say I'll definitely try it again with upping the creme anglaise. Normally I use that around 1.5%, but in this, having the cream cheese icing as well, I'll probably just have these almost identical. I don't know. It's really good. I may just leave it as is, honestly. Because it is very good. Let me drip a little more of this in here. Sorry. Jump back over here. All right. So yeah, I'll definitely post that. It'll be up on all the flavors. If you follow me, you'll find it easy. If not, just search for hashtag Vaporworks Lab, and it'll be one of those recipes that pops up. I think that's probably about it for tonight, guys. I'm sorry it's kind of a short stream, but I still am kind of battling this sinus infection that I've got going on. And I didn't really prepare more recipes because I knew it was going to be relatively short tonight because I just wasn't going to have the energy to do, you know, hour and a half, 2 hours, something along those lines. So if you stuck with me this whole time, I very, very much appreciate it. Like I said, I'll have that recipe up so you guys can go mix it up and give it a try. Should definitely check out the SSA flavors, especially the lemon pound cake, the double watermelon, the honeycomb crumble, the rhubarb, and then maybe the peach sweet type. There's better peaches out there, I will definitely say that, but it's still pretty good. And I think it could be pulled either way, either just artificial peach or candied peach. So that makes it at least a little bit interesting. All right, guys, that's it. Vape on, and I will catch you all in the next one.